Get you back. So anyway, but yeah, that's keeping up with the Bidens, y'all, and we'll see how this. I know this year ain't gonna end right, but
garbage and sanitation worker. No, they want to live in big houses that they see on videos.
You know, my thing is, I thought it was funny because it was the caller that did it, but at the end of the day, it's when you're a public figure.
That the whole thing makes me sick to my stomach.
You know what I'm saying? 99.9% of the time, I love living in this, country that we're free and we have this freedom of speech. But every now and then,
when she listen, the Trump, brother, if she could turn back the hands of time, Doc, ain't no Dave Chappelle, I'll tell you that.
And so you need to be put out and put on notice. The hell no.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning, y'all. Happy Monday.
Thank you, Linda. What is up, y'all? Hey, oh my goodness. It is a great day to be alive, isn't it? I ain't seen y'all like 7 days. When y'all come in, y'all say what's up. Y'all, we got a lot to talk about today. It is Monday. And listen, y'all, we are the best morning show that you watch at night. Is that okay? Y'all, we got stuff to talk about, and guess what? All the family's here. Some people are not in their normal places, but all of us have sunshine faces. Man, can you bring the family on? Sir, gentlemen, man, listen.
What up?
We like a couple weeks too late for the Thanksgiving show. I mean, we're in the kitchen. Come on, gonna show us how to make a turkey and okay. Anyway, good to see y'all. Y'all doing all right tonight?
Doing great. What's up, brother?
How are you?
Fantastic. I can't complain. For some reason, the sun is still out. I don't know. Okay. Y'all listen, ladies and gentlemen, that's me, Black, that is Devin Devine, and that is Kendrick. And the power for the hour on Backstage, Brittany. Again, we don't call her last name for IRS purposes, but thank y'all for joining us today. Ma'am, let's get started with the first topic today. Please, ladies and gentlemen, we want to keep up with Mr. Kanye, Kanye, as my sister normally says. Y'all, I wasn't digging in nobody's business like Devin, but I woke up to a whole bunch of Twitter memes about Chris Paul. And I said, what does Chris Paul got to do with Kanye West? He tells people that Chris Paul slept with his ex-wife. And then got the nerve to go on a show with a man who is a denier of certain facts in this world. And even these people are being offended. You know what, y'all? I think Kanye trolling everybody. I mean, he can't be this crazy because you can't make money like that. You have to have some. They take advantage of people who are really not smart and have mental problems. But Black, is he trolling the people?
I don't think so. I think this is real. I think we're witnessing a true mental break in real time.
Okay, sister. I mean, I know this is really detestable to you to keep talking about this man, but just give me 30 seconds.
He knew that lady was ran through like a subway tunnel when he met her, so nobody cares about him talking about who that lady slept with. It doesn't matter. He needs to go sit down in somebody's chair in somebody's office.
Okay, I mean, Kenny, he wants to put on blackface. I don't know what this is. I know he's done some things that probably is going to cost him his mentality, but I just think at this point, putting up swastikas and all that, he done got booted off of Twitter again.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I can't believe, and again, it's just my thoughts. I just can't believe that this man who has made millions of dollars from being a creative musician all of a sudden now is taking this tumble. I'm not saying it's not possible, but you think it's possible, bro?
Oh yeah, it's definitely possible. We see Hollywood turn people into Hollyweird all the time. Some of the situations that they delve into in that atmosphere, it can cause a sane person to go insane, and that's what we are seeing with Ye. I don't want to keep making light of that either to those that are really sane. I hope he's not playing the trick on us. I hope he really is insane, and I hope it's somebody that really cared enough for him. Obviously, his ex-wife didn't, to get him some help, because at this point he needed. And then the other thing, man, he need to stop going at black folks. Leave Chris Paul out of this. Chris Paul, why are you doing that, man? If you want to do stupid stuff on social media, do it on your own time and just use yourself. Don't be bringing innocent people in there that had nothing to do with your situation.
Well said, my brother. I'm not really sure his motive. It didn't make sense, but it is what it is, right? Okay, well, y'all, we ain't gonna keep up with it too much longer because I think whenever they decide to put people on Mars, I think he's gonna be the first one to go.
Yeah. Well, at least he should be first in line, I hope.
Yeah, listen, man. Y'all let him go on and be by himself somewhere, please. All right, well, that is what we got next, man. Parenting styles. Yes, we're all parents here. Yes. So listen, y'all know I got a question for the people. I want to know, how were you parented and how do you parent? Like, do you believe in spanking? Do you believe in not spanking? Do you believe in talking? And then we'll get into this. Black, were you a spanker? And
Yeah. I'm so 11 of us, and we didn't grow up with a father. So my mom was very, very strict. The most strict person I've ever known, even up to now. So we received true beatings by today's terminology. I'm talking extension cords, broom handles, getting really beat. By today's standards, that would be child abuse.
Correct.
And so I actually parent the same. It's now, I never beat with the extension cord, but I definitely believe in whipping ass.
Yes,
and then when they get to a certain age, if you come up against me, I literally had to break my son down in a fist fight. And I did my very best to try to break something. I beat him to a pulp, because, that's the way I was raised. And thank God I have no more children out there that I know about, but I believe in ass beatings.
Come on, Black. I know that pull-out game is strong. We'll move on, though. Kenny. How you do it, man? How was it done to you, and how you do it?
Well, it was just myself, and I have a younger brother. My mom, single mother, as Black as well. My mother put the fear of God in me, so I didn't get many whoopings. Now my brother was the daredevil. He pushed the envelope. I saw him get plenty of them. Me personally, I didn't get a whole lot of whoopings as a kid because I feared my mother's wrath. Now, as far as my parenting skills, I wasn't a whooper. I'll be honest with you. My ex-wife, peace be upon her, she was more the disciplinarian. She would whoop some ass. Now, me, I was more the talker. I would be like, okay, listen, this ain't what we gonna do. So I really wasn't the big whooper. I think I spanked my kids maybe each one of them once their whole life.
Man, I see some similarities going on here. Miss Diamond, Miss Devin.
That's my. That's when that's on my outfit. But
I'm not touching that.
I'm not either. I'm gonna leave that one alone.
Well, go on, Sister Diamond.
Well, my mother was the queen of the switch. Y'all remember the switch?
Yeah.
Did she make you pick it?
Find the longest one on the freaking bush, so she could not even have to chase you. She could reach you from all the way across the room if I felt like. And then my brother, but I didn't get very many. I got some because, of course, as a teenager, but I didn't get a whole lot. But like Ken, I had a brother who was always in trouble. And y'all remember back in the day when people played football, they used to use the wooden football stakes that they would paint. Somehow my mother got that thing out the yard and tore that thing in two pieces and whooped his ass with it. So, yeah, that was but she was a single mother of 5 children, 3 of them boys. So she did what she had to do.
Right.
I did believe in spankings, but I have one child that I literally can't remember spanking her. And then one of the three, I felt like I felt like I whipped him 3 times a day, like pain medication. And then another one, I really didn't spank her much, but she bucked up to me as a teenager. So, hey, let's go.
Yeah.
That didn't last long.
Yeah.
That's right.
I think most of our generation, we all grew up with, some type of corporal punishment and, physical disciplinary action. So apparently now they want to put this to the test, not so much as being spanked or not, but there's an ABC show appearing on the 15th of December called Parent Test. And this series will proactively look at parenting and explore different parenting styles from helicopter to child-led. The parent test will put 12 families under a series of stress tests and ask parents to share their perspective on hot button topics so that each can understand how the other operates. I guess they don't have anything better to do but to try to make a game of this. There's no right or wrong way. I believe tradition has taught us just from how, and again, it's just my opinion, how slaves and slave masters did, correcting those that work for them. That's what they use. They use physical punishment. So I think that just carried on through our lifestyle, as we've stated, the different tactics is being used. I think that those things come from learned behaviors. So, I mean, in your opinion, Kenny, is it more beneficial to take the role of guiding, or do you need to sprinkle in a little bit, one or two? I mean, what type of test are we looking for? I don't know. Is it where they coming from? What they gonna do?
I think that, first of all, there is no handbook to tell you how to parent. I know they write books and all that, but it's really on the job training. And secondly, I think, again, we take a little bit from our own childhoods, how our parents parent, and we kind of mix it with us. We make a remix of it. But I will say this: I think it depends on the child, how the child's personality, to me, determines how you discipline them. It's some children you really have to stay on ASS, and what that means, sometimes you got to put something to them. There's some children you can really just scare them and talk to them, and that will straighten them up right then. They good. Right. You ain't got to do nothing like that. So I really truly believe how you parent it depends on the personality of your child.
Yeah. So this is basically based from a show in Australia, Black. I don't know how they do it up there. I don't really see a lot of Black families going to be in this show. So, I think culturally we've raised children differently from white, Black to Hispanic. But which one you think going to come out on top?
It'll be the one most appealing to this generation. You said it a minute ago. They run out of ideas and originality. So we're literally, fishing at the bottom of the barrel for what's entertainment now. Having said that, I'm going to slightly disagree with my brother from another mother in this sense. There is a handbook of sorts. It's called the Bible, Now, the thing of it is, a lot of people don't subscribe to that. They think it's outdated, things of that nature. I happen to believe in, the tenets of the Bible. I think it's harmonious from beginning to end. And it does give a lot of guidance, believe it or not, in terms of parenting. We all probably are familiar with the scripture, spare the rod, spoil the child. There's another verse in Proverbs where it says, you fathers, do not be exasperating your children. And I could go on and on and on. Right. Having said that, we've taken God not only out of schools, we've taken him out of homes as well. And so some of the most simple, fundamental teachings of the Bible in terms of raising a family and the structure of the family in general, where there's a head and in the submission, a state of submission, we don't adhere to that anymore. And so we've created a couple of generations of the Me Too-isms, and the fast food generation and the TikTok generation in terms of, so what I believe we're going to see with this experiment is who can be the most sentimental and the little testimonials they'll talk, the one who'll win is the one who appeals to the audience in terms of the state of things today. I think of Dwayne Wade and what he's going through right now, and it's a clear example of what the world now considers as a good parent.
Yeah.
Good point. Good point.
Devin, I know they're these are scenarios that they're giving these families, so it's really not organically done, although the response may be. I really don't know how much of a real depictive state we're going to really get out of this, because like I said, I don't think it's going to represent all cultures. So what should we see out of something like this?
I actually don't believe any of it. I think it'll all be fake because they're not going to get no real families and no real kids up in there, because everybody knows that if you put Big Mama on one of them shows, they're going to be ready to arrest Big Mama next week, because just watching TikTok where black people will make little, funny things that I thought was funny about spankings, going up to the school and beating kids. You see people in the comments up in arms, and you just got to talk to them and all that other stuff. And it depends on the kid. I mean, because some kids don't need just talking to, which we'll see in my segment. I mean, you won't get no real parenting. Like, you won't have me on there. I would never be on there because I know people see me as harsh and inappropriate. I just had my daughter caught herself having an intervention with me over Thanksgiving about how I'm so hard and harsh in my words. I said, you want me to lie to you? Because society ain't gonna be nice to you. I said, I'm not gonna coddle you. You doing something wrong, I'm not gonna say, oh, that's okay, baby. You'll figure it out. I'm gonna say, what the hell y'all doing? Y'all dumb as hell. You know better. You wasn't raised like, why would I? Right. Devin will never be invited to that kind of show, nor will I accept the invitation, because people will have a major issue with the way I speak to them.
That's right. I agree 100%. That's why I'm saying it's not culturally represented, because there's no they want to paint a narrative, and so fine.
There's somebody on there. They'll find somebody dumb enough to be harsh and inappropriate to get on there to use it as an example, and then they'll do them dirty. They'll find the dumbest third grade education mother and her first grade education husband, shoot them $500, get them on there and make a fool out of them. Watch.
Absolutely.
I don't disagree with you. I'm gonna watch just to see, but I think all points are valid. So yeah, so it'll be on the 15th. So y'all check it out. I mean, we'll once it come on, we'll talk about it and follow up with it and see what they're talking about. So all right, y'all. What we got next, man? Brother, man, he got a lot.
What up,
y'all? Listen.
Yeah.
I made time for this one because he got a lot to talk about. So come on, man, let's get into this thing, brother.
Yeah, we're gonna jump into it real quick. We had college football conference championships on this weekend as well. So that CFP, TCU and USC, boy, took an L. So guess what, guys? Alabama and Ohio State probably gonna be in that college football playoff. So anyway, that's what was some of the big things happening this weekend. Yeah. Alabama was number 5. Alabama was 6, I'm sorry, and Ohio State was number 5. Both those top 2, 3 and 4 lost. So watch Alabama jump back in, and we'll know by Tuesday. Now, speaking of college football, we had the SWAC championship that went down on Saturday at Jackson State. I did as well. Jackson State beat the Southern Jaguars 43-24 to end their season at 12-0 and win the second straight SWAC championship. But that ain't even the big story. The big story is my favorite coach in college football is leaving Old Jackson, Mississippi. He taking his services to the University of Colorado, Pac-12.
Yes, sir.
The University of Colorado hadn't done much since Cordell Stewart was quarterback there. If y'all remember Cordell Stewart, it's been a while since they even been on the scene. So
his ex-wife more important than he is now.
tell me about it. Ain't that right? So everybody is up in arms about Coach Prime, and here's another little tidbit I just read about an hour ago. Sports Illustrated reporting that Coach Prime will have to pay Jackson State $300,000 to buy himself out his last year of his contract. Now check this out. Coach Prime he signed a 4-year, $1.5 million deal, and he's been there 3 years. He was only making $300,000 a year, and he was giving $75,000 of that back each year to the university, as well as he donated half his salary to finish the athletic center that there now is at Jackson State. So I just want to get you guys' thoughts on Coach Prime leaving the HBCU and going to a bit bigger and better things. Devin, what's your thoughts?
I mean, you can't really knock him for wanting more. It's kind of sad though. I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't, and it just makes me feel like, at the end of the day, money always talks. and people always want more and want to move up, and I think he did good while he was there. So that's one thing I can say. You can't take away from what he did when he was there, and I just hope whoever comes behind him just continue. You know what I'm saying, that same foundation.
Yeah, Brother Black, your thoughts?
Like Sister Devin, look, if that's what he wanted, we all have an individual decisions to make, and we have to make decisions that's best for us. And so I would like to believe that, when that offer came along, and from what I understand, they're going to give him $5 million a year. So when you just broke down, what he was making, at Jackson State, I mean, if you're motivated by the income part of it, it's a no-brainer, if he had aspirations of coaching at a much higher level, it's a no-brainer. Is it sad? Absolutely. And I will cover that in my portion at the end of why I think this is a tragedy.
Wow.
All right, Brother Brenton.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. No, man, listen, I'm going to tell y'all something. We talked about Deion when he first started. Deion was never going to save the HBCU. What he did was he brought necessary attention. Deion, and again, even what he got to pay them, I think the Ravens or the Cowboys can still give him that because he's still getting paid from these other teams, man. So it's never about the money for Deion. I think Deion is doing what every person would dream of, which was to do the things that they love to do. And on top of that, to get your sons through in the same manner, those boys going to be in the NFL. I don't care where they'll get there. That's because they're their daddy. But for him, Deion Sanders is about. This is one thing I'm saying about Deion. Deion has never cowed down to the brother, to the big brother. He's always been himself. So I think what's going to be interesting is Colorado is going to get a culture shock because what Deion Sanders has, he has a farm system called HBCU. And all he got to go do is run them boys from down there and bring them to D1, and all of a sudden you're going to see something amazing. So I'm excited to see Deion take this journey because one thing about Deion, he reminds me of Mayweather. He always talk a lot, but he always backs it up. And he run his mouth, but he have never, except for that school he tried to run in Texas, but that's not his fault.
That's a topic for another day. We'll talk about that another day.
Yeah. But listen, man, when he called himself, he talked. The man delivers, so I believe he's going to deliver.
Yeah. So it's being reported that he's going to be, his contract details hasn't been released, but what we're hearing is he's going to be making up to probably about $5 million a year. Don't know how many years that contract is going to be. The transfer portal is definitely going to be his system he's going to use. They are saying that his son Shador is most likely going to follow him to Colorado as well as
think so.
Yeah, that's what they're saying. And Travis Hunter, that cornerback, number one, he's probably going to transfer there as well. And they're looking at keeping TC Taylor, his assistant coach, wide receivers coach. Deion is going to help them look for their coach, and he's already recommended TC Taylor to be the next head coach at Jackson State. So we'll see what happens there. He will continue to coach them in the celebration game on December 7th in Atlanta. Black, you need to go check that out for us. Let us know what goes down in Atlanta, December 17th. So we'll see. Now, let's do a follow-up on your favorite NFL owner, Miss Devin, Jerry Jones. We got a follow-up on that picture. We got some comments from the King, superstar, Lakers, LeBron James. Brittany, if you can, please roll this sound for me, please, man.
I got one question for you guys before you guys leave. I was thinking when I was on my way over here, I was wondering why I haven't gotten a question from you guys about the Jerry Jones photo. But when the Kyrie thing was going on, you guys were quick to ask us questions about that.
Okay.
Hold on. And I don't even want you guys to say nothing. When I watched Kyrie talk and he says, I know who I am, but I want to keep the same energy when we're talking about my people and the things that we've been through. And that Jerry Jones photo is one of those moments that our people, black people, have been through in America. And I feel like as a black man, as a black athlete, as someone with power and a platform, when we do something wrong or something that people don't agree with, it's on every single tabloid, every single news coverage. It's on the bottom ticker. It's asked about every single day. But it seems like to me that the whole Jerry Jones situation photo, and I know it was years and years ago and we all make mistakes, I get it. But it seemed like it's just been buried under like, oh, it happened. Okay, we just move on. And I was just kind of disappointed that I haven't received that question from you guys. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Kudos to you, King James. Start with you, Brother Black. Your thoughts on LeBron James calling out the national media on picking and choosing what they decide they want to ask these athletes questions on. Talk to me.
Like you guys, I loved it. And I was watching Tony Reality's show. I forget what it's called. And not surprisingly, the sports writers and the columnists, they all disagreed and they castigated LeBron James for what he did and how he handled it. So typically the writers, obviously, they don't agree. They thought he didn't make a point. But here's what I love about LeBron. He's doing this while he's at the top of the heap. He's not waiting till he's retired. He speaks he's not always right, but I love that he has an honest, visceral opinion on things that matter while he's currently an active player. Sometimes we hear that, a player, I'm gay, but you've been retired for 5 years. Why didn't you step out and say that while you were actively playing when it could have made a difference? So the fact that and I love the way he did it, he didn't open the door for them to, we're not going to have this back and forth discourse here now. Right. I'm just going to put it out here and I'm going to let you live with it, that you asked me about everything else. And that same energy that you came to me with when it was Kyrie. But now that this is, Jerry Jones, and even Jerry Jones himself, he didn't say anything negative against LeBron James. He kicked the can down the road because LeBron is absolutely right in that, there's nothing to see here. Go on about your business. And so bravo to LeBron James. I respect him so much as a man, what he's done. It's not perfect, but he's probably, to me, the most respected male athlete that we have right now.
I agree with that. Sister Devin, your thoughts on LeBron's giving the media a little something.
I like that LeBron is LeBron. Other than like a Kaepernick, who all these consequences and things came to because they really didn't care what he had to say. He just
great point.
Wrong messenger, right message. But he didn't have the weight that LeBron brings money and revenue and crowds and things like that. So they can't really do anything to LeBron for anything that he says. He reminds me of like the Beyonce who went to the Super Bowl and did a whole Black Panther thing and advocates for like Black Lives Matter. It's Beyonce. You can't do nothing about it. So you need those people like a LeBron, a Beyonce to do to say those things and raise awareness to those things because they're not going to touch it. So he's like the perfect person to do that because if one of his other teammates did it, you would see consequences for that action. They're not going to touch him.
Yeah, I agree. He has the power and he has the clout. He has the social, media, and he's aware. So yeah, I totally agree with you, Devin. Brother Brenton, I think we all in agreement on this. This is a drop the mic moment. Would you call it a drop the mic moment?
Man, I'm glad to see him do exactly what Kanye can't do. You know what I'm saying? When you talk about one man's blunders of billions, this man has the capacity to step into the moment. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is the thing about LeBron James is showing us how to play chess with the fourth branch of government. And I say that, and I'm gonna tell you why I say that, because we know the three, but media is the fourth branch for me because it has, if not more, as much power as any of the other three. with media, you can change narratives. You can say things, whatever you want to say, as long as you have the highest platform. LeBron has taken his platform and he's doing exactly what he's supposed to do. And I'm going to show y'all something because people misinterpret my articulation of white men don't like to be embarrassed. What Jerry Jones did was showing you that even in his response, he can't criticize LeBron because the facts of what is being said. But what he did was he said, I got enough money to tell y'all stop talking to me about this. He's a nice guy and I like him. Anything else, Jerry? He's a nice guy and I like him. That's a whole game in itself. I'm not going to acknowledge what I did, and if it was, so what? But I got enough money where y'all going to leave me alone. But thank you, LeBron, for being Captain Obvious, right? That's exactly what it was. And he exposed covert prejudice. He exposed covert prejudice, right? Because the subliminal things that they do, we'll always talk about the blacks, but when it comes to the whites, and then them being doing something that's no. Let's talk about Ime. Let's talk about Kyrie. Let's talk about Kanye. But like he said, but y'all won't talk. So now they won't bring it up now because why? It'll be embarrassing. It won't be one that's gonna bring it up now because LeBron first. Nice checkmate, bros. Nice checkmates, boss. I appreciate that. That's how you run game.
Yeah, and so it's interesting that my thoughts too is that why ain't nobody asking Tom Brady about Brett Favre? Why ain't nobody asking Aaron Rodgers about Brett Favre? Why ain't nobody asking Josh Allen about Brett Favre? Even Lamar. I mean, come on. I mean, and that's on the media, and the media is being exposed every day. I'm subscribed to a whole bunch of sports opinionists on YouTube, and I see the slanted ways that they cover stuff. So it's all of the national media that does it. But I definitely say, hats off to LeBron. Mic drop moment. Keep calling the national media out because we need to do better when it comes to covering our people, even if we're doing stupid stuff. So anyway, that's my TFG Sports segment. Back to you, brother Brenton.
Man, good stuff, brother. I appreciate it, man. Listen, I don't care what nobody say. This is very empowering. The fact that we have a voice and we can and it can go to anywhere in the world for anybody to hear that just the Herschel Walkers ain't the only one that can speak and black people think, oh, that's how all black people talk. No, that ain't how all black people talk. No, that's how a black man talk that got CTE. Okay. I'm sorry. Let me move on before I start cutting up. What we got next, man? Thank you. All right, listen, I'm gonna show y'all something else here. See, I love playing this Rubik's Cube of now mental chess if I can. I'm gonna show y'all something that y'all didn't understand could happen. Maybe we do, but some of the people that's gonna watch this. The craziest thing just happened when the government forced the workers that were trying to get a better lifestyle, they forced them back to work. How do you force? So we just been playing Legos with unions and companies, and we thought that the fight was good. The railroad was on the same page. They had them by the balls, and then all of a sudden, the government steps in and says, "No, boys, y'all can't play like this because y'all gonna mess up the economy. Get back to work." Granted, I get it. You get $16,000, but it's the principle of the matter that you were making sure that you had the right. And then what? And again, this is why I love about our culture. White people, we feel the same way you do about government overreaching. But again, we can't come together because of other issues. But yes, that's what we've been trying to tell y'all when the government was suppressing us to have the right to vote, to have the right to go into any restaurant. Ta-da, they just make decisions. And then we have to live with them. Y'all, although nobody cares because they want to make sure they get their Christmas presents on time. Mm-hmm. The government gave them boys a nice little foot with a boot. And I mean, no Vaseline. I mean, Black, what in the world did we just witness?
We witnessed that we really are living in the Matrix.
Yeah, man.
To be honest with you, we're pawns, and the big government wheel. It makes me think about a movie, one of my favorite movies with Michael Douglas called The American President.
Mhm.
And there's a scene in the movie where he says, a Harvard scholarly law professor told him the one thing a president never lets happen is a strike during holiday season. If you go back and watch the movie. And from a political standpoint, that's the last thing that, the Biden administration was going to let happen. Because quiet is kept. We are in a recession, but we really aren't going to say that. You know what I'm saying? Quiet is kept. The prices of food, water, gas, and usables is at an all-time high, even though salaries are going down, even though unemployment. But we're not going to talk about that because this is all happening towards the end of the years, right on it, right behind the midterm elections. And so we're living in the matrix. At the top of the food chain is the top 1%. They don't give a damn about the rest of us. Deal with it.
Devin, I'm going to say this. We have just experienced democracy being a dictatorship. That is literally what they say that we fight for to not to happen. But they just showed us when the little guy has the right plan, all of a sudden, all right, kids, y'all stop playing. Y'all playing too much. Here, take your little money. Shut up. No sick time yet, but y'all can't do it because y'all messing with our money.
I love it.
That's
actually.
crazy.
I love it because those Twitter people who think that there's this superiority just because of certain things, then they learn at the end of the day, the money, the bottom dollar is all that matters. They don't care nothing about you. Like if you start messing with people's money in relation to capitalism, they don't care what you look like, who you are, your skins. And when I hear about stuff like this, I start thinking about when like my stepdad talks about like when he was in Vietnam, whatever, and they have white, black, everybody together, the little people basically, they put you on the front line. They don't give a damn about you. There's certain times where certain things don't matter. But what's funny to me is people will overlook these things and try to make up excuses and not see and pretend it's one thing when it's not. Just that way they won't look stupid for following all these people with money, this 1%, as you mentioned, for following their ideology, and they'll just refuse to admit it, or either they admit it, but it's kitchen table talk. They will never admit it, out loud to other people, because then they would realize they look stupid.
I love it.
See, Kenny, and I'm gonna give it to you like this. I'm gonna bridge the gap. I'm gonna put on my preacher hat for just a second. Let me contrast. This is why Jerry didn't have a problem with LeBron, is because LeBron wasn't messing with Jerry's money. And that's why he said, as long as you're not messing with our money, have fun, fight, protest, kill each other even.
Yep.
But when you mess with the money, that's when no, let me show you. That's what I'm talking about, right? That mental game that we keep, that covert prejudice. We not listen, Black lives, whoever want to protest, blue lives, it don't matter as long as y'all not affecting the economy. Fine, kill them, whatever. I don't care. But the economy is okay, Kenny. This is what I'm trying to correlate to y'all. This is why we're a hamster spinning in a wheel. With the whole, we're going to keep fighting. Fighting for what? Because I'm going to tell you something. When they tired of y'all and you press the right and you find the right door to creep in, they're going to slam your hand in it. Don't go in there. Go over there and protest. What you seeing from this, Kenny?
Well, the first thing that definitely jumps out to me is that unions really don't have any teeth.
It's just a game.
It's just a game. You can unionize all you want to, but obviously the government can say no. Y'all can unionize all you want to. It ain't happening here, player. We gonna shut that down. That's the one thing. And the other thing is, man, you're a slave to whomever you're working for.
Hello.
So you better always remember that. When you working for somebody and you ain't in that 1%, you a slave to that job, to the government, and that's at the end of the day. So this whole railroad strike definitely opened my eyes. Not that they were closed before, but it definitely opened my eyes to see that unionization really probably doesn't benefit you guys. And it's all good to come
It's just a
together,
way
but
for people to make money.
But at the end of the day, somebody making money off of all that. So
That's
yeah,
it.
it's crazy.
That's it. I just want everybody to know we are like Black said, we are in the matrix, and whenever the architect wants to make a change, now listen, he'll let everything go the way it wants to go, or the way y'all want it to go, but y'all don't understand. Don't step out of bounds.
That's right.
Right? See, Kanye and LeBron, again, I gotta paint this picture for y'all. Kanye is just as frustrated as LeBron. I promise you. For whatever reason, but Kanye is saying both of them got billions of dollars. Well, Kanye not so much now. But again, he can live comfortably for the rest of his life and do nothing. So can LeBron James. That's power, right? You can say whatever you want to say, but Kanye is wasting his time because he's selfish. At least LeBron gonna say it and move on and go back to playing basketball. Again. It, the complexity of this world and why we do what we do, it almost comes back as vanity at the end of the day. Black, you look like you want to say something else.
I do. We don't have the time.
Go on, you're doing good. Come on, let me have it.
No, I'm just saying you opening up a can that's so much bigger than this topic. You know, when you're bringing it there, and I'll just end it by shortly just saying, I always talk about. This generation calls itself woke. Wake up for real, because I love the points you guys are making, that at the end of the day, we all have to answer to someone, which is going to lead into my closing statements, at the end, because it matters.
Yeah.
You only get one name and it matters.
Yeah. All right. So I just want y'all to know, we understand that the fight is real. But the problem is the outcome isn't. The fight may be real. Yeah, they may have died for voting, but I promise y'all, if they could see now that it didn't even matter what you vote, because now they're putting people in position. Again, hello, here's what y'all didn't realize was being done to us, that if we keep letting these people do this, your vote don't even matter when you do cast it, because they're going to just say, we're going to throw it out.
Hello.
Okay. All right.
Hello.
Hello. You move the goalpost. You kick it here. It's right here. What the little girl do to Charlie Brown? Pick up the ball. But I got it. Y'all keep letting that ball sit there. It'll move when it's ready. So, all right. Where we at now? Oh, well, I see who you got. Yeah, Devin. Man, who business? Well, I know. Okay, let's go on and talk about this, man. This is really interesting.
Well, y'all know I'm sitting here drinking my coffee and minding my business. But on the heels of parenting styles, I think it's interesting that today I'm talking about a 10-year-old in Milwaukee who
my birth city.
Shot and killed his mom because she would not buy him a VR headset from Amazon. And before I get you guys' opinion, I'll give you a little background on this kid. They've been having problems with this kid since he was 4, as far as issues with rage. He had taken a puppy and spinned it around by the tail until it would wince in pain. He filled a balloon with flammable liquid and had set that on fire. The mom put cameras in the house because of his behavior and his antics. So I guess there's a couple ways we can look at this, but I noticed also in the article, I didn't hear much about the dad. I don't know where the dad was and what role he played, but I would love to get you guys' opinion on this. And I'm also, before we get to the end of it, going to give you a little background even on myself and issues I've had with kids with problematic behaviors and how the government and things like that, how they kind of react to these kids with these problematic ways. But I'm going to start with you. What are your opinions on this 10-year-old who shot his mom because she woke him up at 6 a.m. and wouldn't get him a VR set from Amazon?
Well, obviously, it's a tragedy at the highest level. And it does raise some questions. And the obvious one was there, was there a father in the picture? What part did he play in helping, to bring some kind of, order to the house or rules and respect for the mom? Why was a gun available to a 10-year-old? How did he get a hold of it? Things like that. And then as you gave the background that you've been having problems with this child since 4, I'd be curious to know, what you did as a parent besides the new age parenting, the timeouts, you taking them to see a counselor. Look, let me be clear. I'm a Neanderthal. There is no freaking way, no 4-year-old, 10-year-old, 14-year-old, 24-year-old is going to behave that way under my roof.
Hello.
The definition of an ass beating is not big enough for what will happen. The moment you see evidence that you probably got a freaking serial killer on your hands by spinning a dog around by its tail, you got problems. So when I finished stomping little Sammy into the ground after that very first incident, he wouldn't want to look at a puppy. He'd hate the word tail in general, let alone do something to an animal, but I'm admitting that that's really what happened for me, good old fashioned fear of God, but we don't do that anymore. So I hate to tell y'all this. When I hear these stories about a kid, my first mind goes to, I don't understand how you even let that happen. I told y'all full disclosure, like you, Devin, my son bucked up against me, ironically, when he was 14 years old, walking around the house with his shirt off, feeling himself, and had got a little height on him. I took a little handheld fan and I beat the brakes off that SOB. He called the cops on me, and I stood there in South Haven, Mississippi, telling 2 white officers, I'll break his ass down right in front of you.
I didn't mean to laugh, audience, but Brother Black, he just brings out sometimes the humor, even though this is not a humorous story. But I'm sorry, I apologize.
Yes.
Well, I had a situation back in the day where I had some issues with my kid, and I tried to get him into a military school, believe it or not. And because they were telling me that he had daddy issues and needed counseling, and I'm like, BS, because I think I did that at 12, and I was spending $150 a week for him to lie to the counselor. And I was like, y'all kiss my ass. And then they had to really tell me that maybe I shouldn't have been a parent. I said, then take him to your damn house. So, Ken, how do you feel about trying to parent a kid and having people step in and not allowing you to do what you think is best for you and yours?
I think that's a big problem. At the end of the day, what you just said at the end, you said if you think you can fix them, then you take them with you. Let these parents parent their child how they see fit, regardless if you agree with it or not. That is their child. They live under their house. And this particular incident, again, this is tragic. I'm like Brother Black. First of all, how the heck did the 10-year-old get a hold to a gun?
He found the key. For some reason, he knew where the key to the gun safe was hidden. And he got the key and then got the gun.
Okay, so when did the flipping the puppy in the air by the tail, did that happen when he was 4?
That's the first incident they noticed that, he was a little dominant.
So you telling me you already know you got the little demon Sammy, as Black named him. He already done flipped a dog by the tail at 4, and then you go buy a gun and keep a gun in the house? What kind of doggone sense does that make, lady? My thing is, I'm not trying to find fault, because this lady lost her life. This mother, now he's gonna be an orphan in the system. That's probably gonna be no telling what's gonna happen to this child. It's just a tragedy. Again, parenting styles. I say he should have been getting his butt whooped right after he did that to that puppy, and he should have been getting his butt whooped every day until he got some act right, as we used to say in the hood, act right. So again, this is an unfortunate story, but guess what? We're probably going to see another one of these stories again in another couple of days, because this really isn't unusual. It happened to happen in my birth city, and that's not unusual there either. So,
wow,
that's my thoughts.
Thanks. Well, Brenton, it's also been reported that they are charging this 10-year-old child as an adult, so he could be facing the same penalties and consequences as an adult male for making a decision that he did at 10, when maybe he didn't even realize the severity of his action by shooting his mom. Or then again, these little Fortnite badass kids, maybe he did. I don't know. What do you think?
I think I don't know the laws in Milwaukee, but that boy better be glad he don't live in Texas. Because I'm gonna just tell you, and I say that, but I'm gonna tell y'all something about Texas Protective Services. They give children a lot of authority. Like as a person that used to work in that type of field, if you knew a kid that grew up in foster care, you can always tell the ones that's been there for a minute because they knew the rules, the ones that favored them. Like you, as a foster parent, your hands are tied sometimes, especially when the kids really understand how to manipulate those rules. They handicap you because kids have more advantages as far as taking those rules and then trying to misrepresent things. For instance, if a child understands that you can put the parents in some type of investigation by just saying that the daddy touched you, that'll change the whole house. And then you begin, but then they use that, right, to then try to do what? To then strong on the parents. You better not do, if you do, I'm gonna say this, I'm gonna say that. And it's crazy. The entitlement has been here. The quote unquote, this generation is spoiled and entitled. No, the government has been teaching them to be that way. Because it's so many kids in foster care that learn that, and then they teaching other kids. They go to school together, and it's I can't begin. I wish I can connect all the dots for y'all, but like Black said, we ain't got enough time. But that's the reality about this. This is a child who the world is teaching them how to grow up and how their parents have been learning how they should be raising them. No, what y'all should have did was leave us alone and let us raise our own kids.
Mm-hmm.
Then maybe a different outcome, but it's so much to talk about. Mental health, that kid ain't going to jail like that.
I don't think so. Well, I just feel sorry for this new generation of children. I knew something was up when my son told me that his teacher said if I hit him, that he can call the police on me.
Yep.
First of all, I would never have said that to my mom because I would have had to stay home from school for a couple of weeks. But I did whoop his ass and told him to go tell his teacher. And that was the end of that. But I do want to say prayers for that family because now, I don't know if there are any other children in the household. This mom has lost her life because of this entitled 10-year-old. And obviously the way that we're doing things today, it's not working because when I was growing up, I never heard of a 10-year-old friend of mine beating or shooting or abusing their mother because they wouldn't buy them something. Me and my friends got our ass whooped at Kmart for even asking for something. Just a totally different generation of people. But now I'm gonna go back to minding my business and letting people raise their kids. And I pray to God you don't get beat up before Christmas.
Yeah. Just stop asking.
Yeah.
Stop asking what I'm getting. Again, y'all, the reality in this moment is there's a balance. Yeah, don't beat your kids, but at the same time, don't let them think that they have this authority. There has to be a balance, man. And so I feel sorry for people. Again, kids have cheated wisdom. This boy don't know now, but he will in the near future that you have just cost yourself a lot of trouble just because you mad. But whatever, young man, it's your life, and there's a lot of y'all in jail too for that. So, all right, where we at next? Yes, Shanquella's follow-up. Now, again, I was told to tread lightly with this conversation. All I'm gonna do is give the information, and then y'all do what y'all want with it. So apparently they found Dajanay, and that's the one that they've arrested allegedly, right? And apparently, this is what I want to talk about. We talked about what a femicide was, but I didn't know what it was. And I know we were trying to explain it, but I actually looked up the definition of it. And so the definition of a femicide, because that's what that's what was being charged to the crime. It's the killing of a woman or girl, in particular by a man, and on account of her gender. Okay. Now, again, I ain't the smartest one in the group, but if you're intentionally charging somebody with a crime and that's the term you use and that's the definition of the term, okay, y'all. Well, y'all sort that out with yourself. So right? I'm just saying, I don't know what Dajanay is, but apparently it's more to the story than just white and black, and this is domestic abuse from So
I'm kind of. So is that definition? Is that saying that the victim was transgender or the perpetrator was transgender?
okay, I'll
According
read
to
it
that
again.
definition.
So I'll read it again. It says the killing of a woman. So the person who got killed was a woman.
Okay.
And it says in particular, who killed him was in particular by a man.
Okay.
So here it is, ladies and gentlemen.
Gotcha.
I'll play
Okay.
Barney. Barney
Okay,
says somebody
gotcha.
got killed. Who killed
Okay.
him? By a man.
Okay.
That's
I follow it now. Got it.
Okay,
there's a lot of rumor though going around like that maybe the charge wasn't even truly femicide, and that someone actually planted a picture of the Dejanay or whatever that wasn't even real, that it was actually a woman, but they were originally trying to imply that it had to be a male by the way they were kind of slanging her around and treating her. And I think they were trying to imply that the person causing the assault was very masculine, the way that they were fighting. But to me, I saw hood chicks fighting, because it's a lot of, let's be honest, if you've seen some hood fights, they get slung.
That's right.
Yeah, they do.
That's not abnormal. So I think that they need to really start giving more details of this so we can truly know, because right now there's just a bunch of speculation. I do know her funeral, I was told, was possibly yesterday or the day before. It was more recent. And they're still investigating. But I don't feel good about this. I don't see a lot of good outcome. I don't see a lot of people being held responsible. It's sad. And I don't know. I almost wish people would just be more careful when traveling. But you can't tell people not to travel with their friends. I did it with 20 girls myself. You have to pray for the best, I guess.
Yeah, no, and again, I'll just open it up if anyone wants to say. This is what I want to say. This is the problem with internet. This is the problem with everybody having something to say. Again, we're gonna be patient. We're not making everything is alleged. We're just waiting for more. Again, Uvalde, the protesting. Everybody can come out with any narrative they want. And again, I told you about the fourth branch of government. It's the media. The media can say whatever it wants to say until there is specific charges and everything, and then everybody, we clearing it up now. Again, I'm just telling y'all what the mess is, and again, we'll wait. So we don't jump out there, but we just telling y'all where it's at. So if it changes, so be it. There it is. So, all right. Anybody else want to say something?
I want to add one little part to it. Just
yeah.
Obviously, we don't know all the facts or whatever, and like you guys, the story wouldn't even be out there if it wasn't for social media.
That's right.
Because Lord knows the credible media didn't even pick the story up. So if not for handheld cameras, we wouldn't even know anything about this. Having said that, when I did hear the term femicide, I knew what it meant. I alluded to it last week. Now whether I'm right or wrong, I don't know. But I am speaking on the fact that what riles me up is the fact that why we have to be so careful here? It's not just that we don't know all the facts. We live in a country where we can get the facts wrong, and then we can go on social media and say, oops, I made a mistake. My bad. We have to tread carefully because this possibly involves the LGBTQ plus community. That's the problem here, is that the lines are blurred, because if it is a man, but they are considered themselves a woman, so we can't say it's a man. So do they consider themselves a woman? We have to tread lightly. In America, folks, in the grand old US of A that's continuing to make itself great again, there are three things right now that you bet not speak out against.
Yes, sir. Yes,
a
sir.
White woman, Jews,
right.
And the LGBTQPP. And I don't say that I don't remember all the letters. I'm not.
I don't either. You are
right.
right. Yeah, right.
I'm not saying that disrespectfully, but these are the facts. So when you are talking about any one of those three categories, you have to be careful. You mentioned Kanye, how he says something and LeBron says something. Well, the big difference here is, why Kanye lost $2 billion in a matter of those hours? Because
ran up on the wrong people.
There you go. And LeBron is smart enough
That's
to
right.
say what he wants to say, but you have to be careful. And
That's
so
right.
this is not vitriol towards any one of those groups for the record. But I'm just saying that is there are two Americas, folks, and that's the truth of it. So we have to tread carefully because until all the facts come in, how do we classify this?
Yeah.
Because how
Yeah.
do they consider themselves?
Yeah.
Right.
We as a country, as a world, we have made a mess of just nature. So, and again, y'all ain't putting this genie back in this bottle, y'all. So good luck with trying to figure it out, right? Because here it is, and I'll speak on it because I ain't scared. Because I'm gonna get off and go get in my own bed. The reality is it domestic violence if he got a wig on? Is it male? You know, how do y'all call it? Chauvinist? What do y'all? He's a woman beater, but not unless he got it tucked under, right? How y'all gonna deal with this? Do you hate the man that don't have a dress on that beats the girl, or as long as he put the dress on, well then it's just fair game?
You know, I never thought about it. I know we don't have a lot of time, but I'm kind of glad you said that. I mean, I would have worded it differently, but now that you said that, because either of you guys, not that you would, could decide today to become transgender and would want to be identified as a female. And if you and I were to get into a fist fight, does that change the narrative opposed to you looking the way you look and you were in a fight with me? Do you still go to jail if you identify, you know, that you're
now it's just two women fighting?
Right. You're Brandy, like, so if it's Brandy, it's okay, but if it's Brenton, then it's abuse. That's a very good point that you brought up. I need to. Okay.
Well, thank you, girl. Listen, I try to eat my Cheerios every you know what I'm saying? Just boost that thing up. That's all I'm getting at. And so we'll move on from that. No, thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah. All right. What we got next, man? Because she gonna try to cut me out. Yeah, Black, y'all. He been holding this for at least an hour, so y'all know he ready. To talk about
He ready. I know
Unreachable promised land. Well, I'm just saying, you know, we've been talking about things, and so you like, let me get to my segment though. Then I'm gonna just let y'all have it. So,
all
right, so you have the throne.
Thank you, sir. So here's the truth of the matter is, I have no idea what I'm gonna say when I get to my segment. I know what I'm talking about. This is the God's honest truth.
Okay.
But I don't know how it's going to come out. You know,
Gotcha.
That's why I tell you guys every week it's very organic, because I don't look at your topics either ahead of time. So in the interest of time, excuse my phone, the unreachable promised land. I thought about, when I looked at the Deion Sanders story, I thought about Martin Luther King Jr. when he talked about getting to the promised land. He said, I might not get there with you, but he said, mine eyes have seen the coming of the Lord.
Yeah.
I've looked over into the promised land, and he used that speech to galvanize us at the time we needed it the most. You know what? I thought about the Israelites. Moses lead them through the Red Sea, and they were promised to go to a land overflowing with milk and honey. In case you don't know the Bible, I'm a practicing sinner, but I know my Bible.
Come on now, preacher.
You know, now here's what those two things have in common. By the time the Israelites did get to that land, they had done so many things that, oh my God, it wasn't what they thought it was going to be. And as an African American sitting here 55 years old, and my family has come through civil rights era, where is this promised land that we keep waiting on? Now, what does this have to do with Deion Sanders? Now, while I can't take nothing away from that man's talent, what I'm about to say next, coming out of this pie hole, these views expressed belong to me and me alone.
Okay.
I respect his talent, really do. Brother Brenton, you mentioned, this is why I say I don't know where it's organic, because you talked, it's funny to me that you likened him in the same category with Mayweather, and Mayweather and the money team. You even mentioned the fact that, you know, he's not necessarily doing it for the money. He's doing something he loves. And if that's the case, then here's where I think he missed the boat for me. This is just for me. He sat down, and I'm going to quote him. He told his group of young men that he led, in this case, to their promised land, undefeated season, turned that program around. He says, a coach gets elevated or terminated, ain't no in between. That's a direct quote from him. I'm going to disagree with you, Brother Dion. There is an in-between. Elevated, terminated, venerated. You, in my opinion, you blew a golden opportunity to be venerated. You, to me, could have been looked at in the same likes as a Jesse Owens, Jackie Robinson, or Muhammad Ali. You're not doing this for the money because you're already rich. You're not doing this for the fame because God knows you like to shine and you famous. And the truth of the matter is your son is going to likely go play in the NFL no matter what. But to me, you dropped the ball because you didn't finish what you started. Sometimes it's bigger than money. It's bigger than fame. And this, to me, is where you had a golden opportunity to not just introduce HBCUs to the star treatment that these bigger, better programs have been getting all this time. You could have been the innovator of this thing. You could have been out there with the same respect that Ali had, that he transcended his sport. But to me, you chose to take the money. You chose to take that road. And I'm not blaming you for that. We all have a decision to make, but I'm just of the ilk that, you know what? Define what you stand for, because you talked about him being able to have that inroad to go to HBCUs. I think he might have burnt that bridges, because those promises you made to those young black men, those promises you made to us as a people where we thought you were taking us someplace special, you turned out to be a gold-plated watch, in my personal opinion. And God bless and good luck.
I wish you had brought that up during the segment, because I want to talk about that now. But
I said we didn't have enough time.
I know it. I'll leave it alone, because all right. I won't. I'm gonna be disciplined here, but man, we may have to follow up on Dion now. I want to talk about that. I
love it, and that's why I want to say that's my opinion of
sure.
Of that's how I see it,
and I get it. But okay, I won't do it. Thank you, sir, for joining. I'm cringing, trying not to say nothing. Thank you, Lee. I appreciate it. This has been a fantastic show, y'all. I just want to say, thank y'all so much. Listen, it's been a great show, y'all. We appreciate y'all for joining us. I hope that you have learned something today. Man, I cannot express my sincere appreciation for these three people. I'm telling y'all, I am a better intellectual person because of y'all. Thank y'all so much. But it is final thoughts time. Brother Kenny, give me your final thoughts, brother.
Man, this show is always so organic. I can tell you that. And I'm not going to be before you very long, just like the preacher on Sunday say. But I don't want these beautiful black people up here to take this personal. But my final thoughts is, I'll be honest with you, I love my black people. But sometimes I don't like y'all. And I'm going to tell you why. And it's concerning Deion Sanders. My brother Black just did his soliloquy. And I was on social media. I was running down Twitter. I was looking at a lot of the comments by a lot of Jackson, Mississippiites, and calling Deion a hypocrite.
Turncoating him,
did
man.
This and did that. But Deion Sanders left Jackson, Mississippi better than he found.
Gotcha. Yes, sir.
That just shows you that sometimes our people, we can't do anything right by them. No matter what we do, we can lead them to the water. We can bring them a buffet full of food, and they still criticize a man that didn't have to even take the job in Jackson, Mississippi. He left you better than you were. Appreciate the man for what he did. And let's appreciate one another sometimes. Let's stop with all this negative energy. But anyway, that's my final thoughts. I'm going to leave it alone.
Devin, what's your final thought?
I'm not going to talk about that. I'm going to try to swing the narrative to be badass kids. Parents. And younger children with adult children now with their parents who try to be critical of how you were parented, and y'all like to use this word of breaking generational curses and all this old dumb crap or whatever. Let me explain to you. There is no handbook for parenting, and when you're a parent, then that's when you can talk about it. And you also, as a parent, you can only use the tools in your toolbox to teach your kids. And you can't educate someone on something that you know nothing about. You don't want me to teach you how to do brain surgery if I've never done it. Okay, so I just think that it's all take the advice of these older people, because let's be honest. I mean, you may not like the way we are, and yes, we do have issues that we need to work out. But I think our generation turned out pretty good and very disciplined and very humble, and very respectful. And so take that advice and quit thinking you know everything, and quit using all these damn singing bowls and sage and stuff to think it's gonna fix your problems, because y'all just you look dumb.
Yeah.
So just do the best you can, instill discipline in your kids, and then maybe they won't beat you up because you didn't get them that Barbie they wanted for Christmas.
Thank you, man.
Oh boy.
I so appreciate that. All right, Black, don't talk about Dion because I don't have enough energy in me not to say nothing. Okay.
Well, my final thoughts is it's not just Dion. It's in relation to I'll go to roll as Brother Kenny. It's to my people in general. My show, Real Talk for Real Men, it only has one thing that at its core, and I talk about let's agree to disagree without being disagreeable. Why am I saying that? It's because of the beauty of this show. So while I personally, see it as a missed opportunity, what Dion's done, that don't mean that I'll root for his success. That don't mean I won't be wishing him well, because I'm not of the generation to write him off. I can separate the man from his actions, number one, and I want to see a person be successful. I just hate missed opportunities, when an individual had a chance to be great. And how it applies to my people is I call that segment, the unreachable promised land, because for far too often we miss opportunities that are right in front of our face, and we veer to the left when we should have gone right. And for that reasons, I hate that that's what keeps us in the barrel like crabs sometimes, because even when one of us climb out a little bit, we don't look back enough to drag a few more out. And so with that said, again, we'll agree to disagree without being disagreeable. And that is how change really happens.
Dialogue,
brother.
definitely.
Yeah,
Dialogue, for sure.
Just don't talk to fools, because they won't give you a word in edgewise. All right, listen, y'all. I did good. I didn't see. I did, yeah. All right, listen. I have a final thought for y'all, and again, y'all know how I do it. Y'all like dogs?
I hate dogs.
They are
okay. Okay, Devin. What would be your favorite dog, or what would you consider the smartest dog?
I think the smartest dog it's like one of those hunting dogs, the ones that they use to like herd cows and things of that nature.
Yeah.
Okay, you talking about the hound dogs?
I can't think of the name of them.
Okay.
But yeah, dogs.
All right. Well, Black, just pretend you like a dog, and if you did, what kind of dog would you like?
Pit bull.
Oh,
See,
yeah.
We brothers.
Okay,
brothers.
well,
We got
okay.
to be, because that's my favorite right there
Yeah.
too. I
All
love
right.
me some pit
All right.
bulls.
Well, if y'all have never seen the smartest dog in the world, I'm about to show it to you.
Damn.
I thought he was supposed to protect the owner.
He said,
Yeah, that dog made the wrong decision to go in the wrong way.
Wrong way.
That dog would have died.
That's right.
That's
Y'all
the
don't
smartest
believe me?
dog right there.
If y'all don't believe me, watch it. Here it go again. The dog. Every bit of that 315 was gonna get on him.
Snoopy said, "The hell with that." Snoopy
right.
said, "The hell with that." I'm going the other way.
That's right.
All I'm saying to y'all, listen, sometimes y'all may call us dogs, but listen, if this dog go the right way, then I'm telling you, I'm a smart dog. So y'all can call me what you want to. Call me a dog. If I'm running the right direction, then that means I'm a smart dog. How about that one? Yeah. Take that to the bank. So listen, y'all, that's Devin, that's Lee, and that's Kenny. And just know, y'all, we'll see y'all here again on Monday. We out. Peace.
Peace.